we're going to be making some of our own flavored almonds with cocoa and sesame seeds.
Yeah. One of the other fun jobs I have is writing for, do you know Merrill? They make like hiking shoes, like my orange ones I'm wearing. They make outdoors wear. It's Merrell. I write for their blog, so I'll write food recipes. They found me through, one of my other books is called The Complete Trail Food Cookbook, and it's dehydrating for camping. And so one of their tasks was 5 chocolate energy snacks for the trail. So everybody knows what happens when you take chocolate bar on the trail in the summer. You end up with chocolate mush in your backpack. So
it's not very fun to eat at that point when it's all smeared.
I'd still eat it.
I would still eat it too. And I'm one of those people, I have to have chocolate every day. I have to have my little hit of chocolate every single day. And I really like good quality dark chocolate. So these are cacao nibs. And the really cool thing about cacao nibs is they have a really chocolate flavor, but they don't melt. So they're hard and crunchy. You can add them to cookies and muffins and things. And they're available. Bulk Barn has them. Some of the grocery stores in the natural food section will have them. And they're really kind of cool because they're actually the husk of the cacao pod that they've chopped up, and it has a really deep chocolate flavor. So we're making these crusted almonds. These were inspired by a grocery store in the US that isn't here, and I bought a bag of sesame crusted almonds, and then I decided, well, these would be really good with chocolate added. So we've got honey again, and a bit of coconut oil. So one of the things I find fascinating about coconut oil is it's solid when it's not hot. It's fairly solid at room temperature. And when you're doing a recipe like this, it coats really nicely. Butter's a little bit messy. Oil, it would be too messy, but the coconut oil worked really, really well. So we're gonna melt the coconut oil.
And we have a little bit of water in here.
A little bit of water. And that's to dissolve. We've got cocoa powder. So a nice, just regular Fry's cocoa powder or whatever dark cocoa powder. And that dissolves the cocoa powder in the water, and honey. Again, like I said, I like
our
honey.
Sweetener of choice today.
Sweetener of choice. And so just bring that to a boil and then add the almonds. So toast the almonds in the oven first. So I love the flavor of toasted almonds. You could skip that stage if you want, but it adds just a much deeper flavor. And I bet Christy has some fascinating facts about almonds.
I do, absolutely. So there's been lots of research studies looking at the effect of including nuts in your diet. And there was one that showed just having, a small hand-sized portion of nuts 5 days a week as a snack can help to lower your risk of heart disease and stroke. So all it takes is that small amount. I know sometimes people who are watching their weight are concerned about adding nuts into their diet because they think, oh, it's going to be too many calories. But they've shown in weight loss studies that as long as you keep it to that small handful, and you can pair it with the fruit to get some nice carbohydrate in that to balance things out, that it's really a better snack than going for rice cakes or popcorn or other things that are just carbohydrate and they don't have the healthy fat and the protein that are going to tide you over. So it really is a good kind of tool to add to your toolkit for healthy eating and for weight management.
Exactly. So
does that include peanuts, almonds, everything, all that stuff?
Yes. So in the study, they were using all kinds of different nuts. Yeah.
Yeah. And one of the things I find, again, trying to control your blood sugar, I like dry cereal. When I'm in the car, I just have a thing of dry cereal, but a lot of them don't have very much protein. So I have my little bag of almonds or pecans or something, and then I have, I kind of mix that together. And I find that really tolerable in the mornings because of nausea and stuff. Sometimes any heavy protein sometimes makes me a bit queasy. So, but a few nuts with my dry cereal, really, I can tolerate that, and then I'm getting that protein. And again, they're very toteable. So Jeremy's got that to a boil.
And this is about a medium heat.
Yeah. Correct?
What are we looking for here? What do we want?
You really just want it to boil. I can't remember. Did I give a description? We're not even on that page yet. I usually give a description.
What did you tell us?
What did I tell you? So we're bringing to simmer.
Saucepan, 2 to 3 minutes until liquid is.
You just need to bring it to a simmer. So now we're adding nuts. Right. So simmer is bubbles. And you want the sugar, the cocoa powder just to be dissolved. Dump your nuts right in there, and now 2 to 3 minutes stirring.
That's the 2 to 3 minutes.
So this is a 2 to 3 minutes, and this is actually quite fascinating. The liquid will kind of absorb into the nuts and make a really cool glaze on the nuts. So
Can you guys smell that?
You can
Isn't
smell
it
it.
amazing?
So we're
Yeah.
getting the chocolate from the cocoa, and then once we get those sort of absorbed, we're adding our cacao nibs, sesame seeds, and this is some coconut or cane sugar. What do we got?
There's
Cane-
coconut
sugar.
sugar.
So you can add coconut sugar, cane sugar, you can use granulated sugar if that's what you have. And this will actually provide a crunchy coating. So we've got a glaze happening on the almonds and then a crunchy coating. And you wouldn't believe how much you pay for these in a grocery store, and you could make this for like $5. And so once that's glazed, so give that another little stir and see, you can see it's getting absorbed. And once you glaze that, we'll add a little bit of vanilla, stir all of this together, and then you just bake them for about 10 minutes, and that toasts the sesame seeds. And there's a lot of new stuff coming out about sesame too, isn't
That's
there?
right. Yeah, more and more. There's research coming out about sesame. There's all kinds of minerals that you can find in sesame seeds, and I think seeds are kind of underappreciated. We got a lot of research about nuts, and now
Yeah.
we're moving over to looking at
To
seeds.
seeds, yeah,
But
sunflower
there's some
seeds.
healthy oils that are found there, omega-6 fatty acids, along with some monounsaturated fatty acids that are the same ones that are found in olive oil. So definitely some potential health benefits there.
So one thing actually, because you were talking about that glaze and what you're looking for, really when all that water is evaporated, you can actually drag a spoon through it. And can you guys see? I don't know if you can see. Can you see? Okay, there we go. See how that it
So it's
stays?
thickened, yeah.
When that water's there, it'll fill up that gap. When it has that glaze consistency, that looks pretty good.
Exactly, yep. So we'll stir that. Normally I would take it out and put it into a bowl, but we're not going to dirty another bowl. We're just going to do this.
Awesome.
Stir that up.
One
and-
pot, I like it.
One pot, and coat that nice, and then put it on the baking sheet. And does everybody use parchment paper at home? Oh, good. If you don't use parchment paper yet, you really need to, because
Who likes doing dishes?
who likes scrubbing baking sheets? Not me. I have a
takers.
I have a really tiny kitchen, and we live on a well, so I don't want to use as much. I wanted to use as little water as possible. So parchment paper, and it's compostable. So if you have a green bin, you can actually put your parchment paper in the green bin. So don't
Very
feel
true.
bad. And I reuse mine. Like if I've just baked cookies on it, and I just wipe it off, and then I can use it again for something else.
Beautiful.
So
That looks
those
amazing.
smell. And these, again, they're just such a nice thing to have in your bag or take with you, because they won't melt, but they'll give you that little sweet and chocolate hit, and they give you that nice protein. And
That looks
Fantastic.
amazing.
And so this is going into the oven,
into the oven for about 10 minutes.
and it's I think 350 degrees. You said
Yeah.
350,
350, 10 minutes.
or until your sesame seeds are toasted. And these you put them in a jar just like this, right?
Yep, exactly.
And they'll keep for about a month or so as a
Yeah.
snack?
Yeah. So does everybody have mason jars? I mean, mason jars have gotten so trendy now for decorating. Oh, yeah. And talk about ad-libbing. We have
The magic oven.
We added some raisins for
Yes.
fun.
Yes.
Jeremy ad-lib.
But what I love about this is it almost, because of that honey, when it cools, it almost turns into sort of like a brittle. You can see
Oh my god.
Yeah.
how it's kind of like sticking.
And I
the
kinda-
magic of parchment paper. Can you imagine this stuck on your baking sheet? No. Forget it.
I'd still be cleaning it up.
Yeah.
And I just break them up. These are still a little bit warm, so break them up when they're just a little bit warm. Otherwise, you get sort of a big mass. And then you break them up like this, and then let them cool. And actually, I highly recommend putting them behind a closed door, because while they're cooling, you'll eat the whole thing.
Put them in a jar that's not see-through, because there's research
Yeah.
that if you can see the food, you're going to eat it.
Oh
So-
my gosh! But yeah, every time you
You
walk
have to
by the
hide
jar, you have a little nibble. But
Bury them in the backyard. That might be another.
or just don't tell anybody else in your family they exist.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
So that is our last recipe. Fantastic, delicious.
Cocoa
Everyone
sesame
want
almonds.
to try them?
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Jen, for coming and joining us.